Hello, Grand Risings, y'all. This is Back to the Basics. I'm your hostess. This is a Back to the Basics brief. So, I'm going to be showing how to distribute your podcast with using Anchor. I myself, I've only been podcasting for, since late March, early April. So I've been podcasting for approximately 6 months. So we're just learning together. Here's some of the symbols we have here. Of course, the anchor symbol is there down at the bottom, and then Spotify, Google, Apple, and then there's a few other ones. Of course, there's the anchor symbol. And there's also a way to actually distribute your podcast on Stitcher with using Anchor. But let me get that off of there. Okay. And we're going to go into Anchor now. Starting from scratch, Googling Anchor. I'm going to click on the link. You gotta love this. I just did a test. Okay. From here, I'm going to click, drop down menu on the upper right hand corner, settings, and then I'm going to click the distribution button. So here I have my RSS feed. So I'm going to copy that to the clipboard. And then here, these are the platforms that I'm already on. I'm on Anchor, I'm on Spotify. And then down here, this is manual distribution. But see this right here, this learn more about distribution. This is actually a hyperlink. So you're going to click on the words learn more about distribution. And that's going to take us to another page. So I'm going to stop sharing the current page so you can actually see where how clicking that, where that actually put us. There we go. Now we should be on the page. There we go. So I clicked on the learn more about distribution, and this is the page that you're going to see. You're going to have of course, the COVID-19 note. And then here on the right-hand side, there's various hyperlinks. Your podcast on Spotify, your podcast on Apple. Let me see. We're going to start with Stitcher. Was very straightforward, and I won't have to share another screen. So here, so submitting your podcast to Stitcher for distribution, we'll start with Stitcher. Remember, you do have to remember to click save to update this change to your RSS feed. So if I go back, like if we were to go back to distribution, there was a save button, you would hit that. And at the bottom, there was a place to add your email address. So again, follow the steps: setting, distribution. You want to put your personal email address, then hit the save. Of course, we've already copied the RSS feed. And then after 10 minutes, your email should be displaying on that page. But here we go. Here's another hyperlink. Submit your RSS feed to Stitcher. So we're going to click on this one, this https://partners.stitcher.com/join. So we're going to click on this hyperlink. And then here we go. You're going to see this purple page that comes up. Stitcher has been connecting creators and listeners since 2007. Reach millions of listeners by adding your podcast to Stitcher today. So then you hit the join us today. And then here we go. There's going to be a pop-up, add your show. And this is where you're going to do a copy and paste. Boom. And then it's going to be next. So my show is already there. So it appears that your show is already on Stitcher. So I've already gone through the steps, but again, I'm just trying to help everyone who, who is new to podcasting like me, or who has, I've only been doing this for about 6 months. I'm still learning as I go along too. But this is just for people who are just now beginning to start podcasting, or who have been podcasting for a few months and they're at the point where now they have episodes and they want to add their show. So Stitcher was very straightforward. My podcast is already on there. Let me see. Let me go back. Okay, so this puts me back on the page where we were. So now let's go. Let me see. We did Stitcher. That was the straightforward one. Let's go to Apple, your podcast on Apple. We're going to click on that hyperlink. And then there's steps here. Let me see. Let me click on this hyperlink, submitted your podcast for distribution. Let me click on that. Oh, okay, that took me right back to the previous one. Okay, so follow the steps on that one. Let me go to Google and I'll come back to Apple. Because Google, it was longer steps. So now let me share a different page. So let me stop sharing the screen. And I'm going to, I already have a tab open, but let me start sharing that tab. Let me start sharing that. There we go. That should be sharing now. It is. So I'm going to click on this icon right here, right next to images. I'm just going to drop down and I'm going to find Google There's podcast. There's the symbol. Click on that. And this is what Google Podcasts look like. So I'm going to go on near the upper left-hand corner of the page where it says Google Podcasts. And then now there's a drop down menu, and then I'm going to go to publisher guidelines. Okay, I'm going to click on, again, the right hand, this type, get your podcast on Google. I'm going to click on that. Wait a second. All right, I need to start sharing. Let me stop sharing this page and let me start sharing, because again, you didn't see where I went to because I clicked on that link and then it opened up another tab. Let me make sure, let me double check if that is sharing the right page. There we go. Now we're on the right page. We're together. All right. So now I clicked on that, how to get your podcast on Google. So here's the overview. You want to get it on Google. Of course, create a RSS feed. We already have one because I copied the RSS feed link from Anchor. So now from here, you want to go to get started with Google Podcast Manager. So we're going to click on this, get started with Google Podcast Manager. Now you see, well, you don't see because, well, no, you do, because it's still sharing. Just want to make sure we are still on the same page. So down here, I know the wording is small. Let me see, can I zoom? Let me see if I can zoom. There we go. Trying to get it together for those who might be struggling to see. Okay, so manage shows and episodes and podcasts. So here you're going to scroll down and you're going to see add show. So you want to click on add show. And then of course, okay, so you've already made it, if you've already done the steps in Anchor to, of course, add your email, then now we're going to click on this, add and verify wizard. You see this hyperlink right here? It's in well, it's not in blue, it's in more like a purple. Click on that, add and verify wizard, and then boom. Now we're on the insights to power your podcast. So now we're about to get the podcast on Google. So click on the start now button. And then boom, we're going to copy and paste our RSS feed. Copy that. And then next step, click on next step. And then boom. See what popped up? This is my podcast. There I am. That shows all the episodes and everything like that. Has my picture, and then my last recent episode was October 4th, Kentucky Tragedy Aftermath, season 2, episode 31. Did you see that? All the episodes. And then of course down here it'll tell you, it'll say how many episodes in the feed. So 10 of 36 episodes in the feed are showing. Okay. And then of course we click on next step. Your podcast manager and RSS feed email match, so no verification is needed. And then boom, you see, after you send the verification code and all that, then boom, verify ownership. Then you're going to hit this blue submit button and then you're good. I'm already on Google Podcasts, but again, this is for people who they already have podcasts, and they're starting to they're this is for people who are just like beginning to with beginning to podcast, should I say, or those who have been podcasting. You already have shows and you're just wanting to now distribute and branch out. So you're going to hit the blue submit button. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing that screen and I'm going to share a different screen. I know we're jumping all over the place, but I just wanted to make sure that you that people can, you don't have to necessarily here's my thing. This channel is also about, helping everybody. The nice thing about Anchor is that there's no subscription. And because Spotify bought Anchor, what was it, last year in 2019, Anchor pretty much should automatically link to Spotify. That just needs to be verified. And again, we just went through the steps on how to add your podcast to Stitcher and Google. Now for Apple, I had just went through the steps. Let me see. Your podcast on Apple. Okay. This one, I think I clicked on the wrong hyperlink because it kind of took us back to the same place. Let me click on this blue hyperlink. Okay, so this takes us to Apple. And I clicked on the Apple icon. Okay, this is going into advertisement. Let me see here. Okay, we may have to, we're going to have to definitely go back. Because doing this for Apple actually, the steps to Google was a little bit longer than Apple, which I found interesting. Hold on here. Okay, I did not see a podcast tab on their website. But pretty much if you go into iTunes, let me see. See, I'm already on Apple, but I did that through Spreaker, not through Anchor. Okay. And as you can see, you can also distribute your podcast to, what is it, Amazon Music. I have yet to do that yet. But here you go. there's a direct way to distribute you Amazon Music by clicking that button. That's going to bother me because Apple, it didn't seem like Apple was really that difficult to distribute to. It really didn't. But just follow the steps. Stitcher was so much more straightforward. That was actually the most straightforward one. Interesting. So Radio Public. So here are some of the ways to do it. Let me see, one-click distribution. But again, what's nice about the distribution button, and again, I'm just going to go back briefly through the steps. That's going to bother me a little bit that I didn't show how to do it, how to port over to Apple, or should I say distribute over to Apple. But either way, this is about, hey, if a individual is just starting out with podcasting, that you can distribute to other platforms without going through Buzzsprout or Spreaker. You know, because again, this is for people who are just starting or who may already have something going and they would like to they'd like to use Anchor. Speaking of Buzzsprout and Spreaker, let me stop sharing the screen. Okay, you know what? Let me show a little something. Let me stop sharing the screen. There we go. There we go. We're back in. Let me change up on my logo. There we go. Let me put up something. Okay. You see that there? This is Buzzsprout. This is the logo to Buzzsprout, and it shows various platforms that a person can distribute their podcast on. At the 12 o'clock, you see Apple. At the 3 o'clock, you see Google. At the 9 o'clock p.m., if this were a clock we're looking at, you see iHeartRadio symbol. You see Castbox and Stitcher. And just to remind people what the Stitcher logo looks like, for some who may not know, that's the Stitcher logo. So you see the Stitcher logo in between the Apple podcast logo and the Castbox logo. Then you see the Spotify logo. And then the other ones, we see TuneIn under iHeartRadio. And then the other ones, I know with Spreaker and Buzzsprout, you can pretty much port to similar platforms. I know there's Podchaser. There's also, Pod Addict. And then there's also another Indian-based radio that you can also distribute to. And then all of these platforms, you can do the same thing with Spreaker, but it's just done differently. So this is what I'm going to do, because again, this is about learning, but I'm trying not to be too long. So let me go back over here. Let me start sharing the screen again. Let me see what I'm going to go to. Let me go back to Anchor. Because I just want to do a recap here. As the first thing we did, let me go back. Let me click on the symbol just to go through the steps one more time. That's interesting. All the other times I was clicking on stuff, but it just seems like the beginning front page wants to take a minute to load. But yet whenever I was doing all that other sharing to the screen, it was all good. But anyway, there again is my podcast. And then again, I clicked on settings, which that was a drop down menu. Then I clicked on distribution, which led me to this page. Copy the RSS feed. There's the save button. But as you go down, here's where you want to make sure that you have your personal email. Display personal email address, but there's a way to add your email. Then after you add your email, you want to click the save button. Okay, boom, it'll say updated. Of course, copy to clipboard, save. I'm just one of those people who sometimes I repeat the steps. And then as you go down, we're going to look for the words learn more about distribution. And then once you click on that, then it's going to take you to the page that I was on before. Oh, I did all that and I had that on there. Yep, there we go. Let me go back. Did all that and then the speaker thing was on there. Let me click the Anchor logo. They say, repetition makes better. And it's not like I didn't tell you, y'all, I wasn't a beginner anyways. There's some people who's been podcasting for a long minute. They've been podcasting for years. But I'm just sharing how to distribute without necessarily, starting a subscription, and this is no shade to Spreaker because I like Spreaker. It's a nice platform. But here we go. We're back to this. So there's my platform. Just to go over the steps one more time. This is what you'll see when you first, when Anchor first loads. Podcast settings is the drop down menu, distribution, and then copy the RSS feed to your clipboard. Then, of course, you'd want to add your email. And then, of course, always make sure you save changes. Save changes. And then after you scroll back down and look for learn more about distribution, click on that. And then that would take us to a different page. I wish that was bigger. That will take us to the page that had the hyperlinks to the right, in which I'll share the screen one more time. There we go. Then you'll see the COVID-19 note, and then on your right, it'll say articles in this section, and then those are all hyperlinks to go step by step to add to Spotify, Apple, Google. There's a way I just showed you. Actually, Stitcher was the first one I showed you on how to distribute over there. And then there's the one-click distribution, and then there's distribute your podcast to Amazon Music. But again, I had clicked on that earlier. You'd have to do that and go over to the Amazon Music directly to their site. But that's pretty much Anchor. Like I said, Anchor is free for those who are just starting out, who may not want to pay for a subscription with Spreaker. The nice thing about Buzzsprout, you can be on Buzzsprout for 90 days. Can be on Buzzsprout for 90 days. For free. But after 90 days, your podcasts will no longer be on there. So let me go back to just Google. All right, let me take that off of there. Let me share a different screen. I didn't realize I was going to open up a different screen. There we go. So let me go to Buzzsprout. I tell you, Google be predicting stuff. I don't know about that. It hasn't been 90 days yet, but I'm on the free account and I have 2 episodes. You can upload, I do believe, 3 hours, so will be deleted. You see, well, you probably don't see that because of how small the font actually is. Let me pump that up so you can actually see what I'm talking about. There we go. I know that's probably better for everybody to see. Just trying to get it to where y'all can actually see something. Let me pump it up. Can I pump it up? There we go. Pump it up. There we go. There we go. We done pumped it up. There we go. Let me remove the logo. There we go. So that's what Buzzsprout looks like. My podcast is over there, but it's going to be temporary because I'm on the free. You know, there's different tiers to subscriptions. So you can only add, I do believe, up to 3 hours on the free version of Buzzsprout, and whatever you upload will be available for 90 days. So I have, 48 days left. There's, as you can see, there's a monetization button, settings, different things like that. Of course, they say, hey, upload a new episode. So those are my episodes, The Thought Police, and then Honoring Black Men While They're With Us. That was one that I spoke about, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. I changed the title of respect for him. I'm not trying to clout chase or nothing like that. It's not even about all that. So upgrade now. Let me see, because I forgot what the tiers were. Hold on here. Let me see what these tiers are because I can't remember. So looking at the plans. So here we go. You see the plans here? So the free, this is Buzzsprout. So up to 2 hours each month. However, so that means you can only upload up to 6 hours because episode is only good for 90 days. And after 90 days, if you don't upgrade, then all of your episodes will be deleted. So at $12 a month, you can upload 3 hours each month. Depending upon how long the podcasts are. So there you go. You get your stats. But see, this is where this is different than Spreaker. Now notice, once you hit $12 a month, okay, it is upload up to 3 hours each month, but it's unlimited. See that? You see that as we go down, as we look at the 12, 18, 24 tiers, you see that? Unlimited storage. Whereas with Spreaker, it's different. There's a 500-hour storage. And then let's say if a person goes past that, then they have to go to a higher tier as far as their subscription. And then also you have magic mastering, which again, to fine tune the audio. But I just wanted you to see that free 12, 18, and 24. And then to add the magic mastering, it's 6, 9, and 12. So depending upon how much a person uploads each month, maybe, hey, the $12 one, and then add the, what is it? The $6 a month. Okay, that's $18 and they have unlimited storage. And then for the next tier, it'd be $18 plus 9. So that would be $27, but yet, okay, they can upload 6 hours each month. So it just depends upon how long your podcasts are. There really is, and that's what I like about Buzzsprout, because there is a lot of tutorials on here, particularly for beginners. There's a lot. Because there's even like to how to make a great podcast trailer. There's a lot of videos to help. So if you're a beginner, me personally, if I could do it all over again, I probably would have started on Anchor and then went to Buzzsprout. That's just me. Okay, that's just me. Again, this is no shade to Spreaker. I think Spreaker is an awesome platform. And let me go over to Spreaker. Yeah, let me go over to Spreaker. Let me go to Google, then I'll go to Spreaker. Yeah, this is no shade to Spreaker. Spreaker, you can the distribution is it's easy. I mean, Anchor, we had to, we had to finesse a little bit, but there we go. There's Spreaker. I'm gonna click on this hyperlink. There you go. There's me. Let me click on the dashboard. And then there you go. Let me see if I can pump this up. Let me see if I can again. Let me pump this up a little bit so y'all can actually see something. Oh, we got a campaign manager for podcast publishers. All right. Okay. Got a message here, a pop-up message. Just going to move that out of the way. Oh, you guys can't see it because I need to share. Let me stop sharing the screen and let me share the screen that I'm actually on. We've been jumping all over the place. Oh my gosh. All right. There we go. Let me share the screen. There we go. There's the screen that I'm on. So you didn't even see the pop up message, but it's all good. So I went on Spreaker. I did the drop down menu and clicked on the dashboard. And here you go. I got almost 32 hours out of 500. Again, you see that 500. So the tier that I'm on is that I'm on the third tier. I think I'm on the anchorman tier. Let me see here. Let me click on create a new podcast. No, let me go back to something here. Let me click on podcasts. I might have clicked on the wrong one. Let me click on statistics. Oh, we got people downloaded. That's nice. I'm not monetized yet. But they have a monetization program. Read through that. Let me go back over here. Go back to podcasts. Oh, here we go. So here I'm going to click on here. It says view and edit. So I'm going to do a view and edit so you guys can see. There we go. So when you click on view and edit, that's where you see that was my last podcast. I did the process of voting. I just ported that over the audio. So you notice on the right hand side, the dashboard, basic information. Then there's distribution. And then boom, you click that and then see that. See, this is where how people can distribute to multiple platforms. So how did I get to Apple? I just literally clicked the button. Well, I clicked the drop down menu and then copied that. And then it took me to another hyperlink where I filled out an application and I submitted my podcast to Apple. And really, with Spreaker, it's a lot more smoother than trying to do it on Anchor, as we were trying to do earlier. Okay. But I already have my podcast is already on. It's already on Apple. And then, of course, Spreaker. Spotify, again, Anchor already links with Spotify. iHeartRadio, again. So now with Buzzsprout, as you can see, Amazon Music. So here we go. Here's a way. It's not available yet. Want to be the opportunity to be, one of the first to be on there? Fill out the form, submit. Castbox. I think, am I still? Oh, it's been added. What? I thought I was still pending approval. Okay. Deezer, Podcast Addict. There we go. So Podchaser. When you look at the symbols, and then here we go. This one, GeoSaven. This is the one that is where that I do believe it's exclusively to India, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So when I first started filling out these applications, the last four, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and GeoSaven, I was like sort of like instantly added. iHeartRadio is different. Like to meet their criteria, you have to have recently done a podcast within like a week or two. I think it's within 14 days, within 2 weeks. And the process, it's a little bit different. But I know for a fact, Google, it's interesting because out of all these, I actually Google took longer to be added than iHeart. But yeah, expect to wait 4 to 6 weeks with Google Podcasts. And also, yeah, with iHeartRadio, expect to wait at least a few weeks. But yeah, as you can see with Spreaker, the distribution process is a lot more streamlined. I'll say it like that. But you can also go live on Speaker. Again, there's a monetization button, core statistics, see what's going on. And also, here's a good option here. This right here, auto sharing options. So with this button, you can auto share. And also, when adding certain episodes, you can actually auto share. There's an option to auto share to what is it? SoundCloud. Let me go back to distribution button right here. So Apple, Speaker, Spotify, iHeart, Google, Castbox, Deezer. So yeah, now I got you. I got it. Well, SoundCloud isn't on distribution, yes, but you can auto share over to SoundCloud. And that makes it so much better. But anyway, we're at the 46-minute mark, so it's time for me to start wrapping it up. I just wanted to show just some things that you start looking at these icons on Spreaker and you start to see the logos on Spreaker. You see all these logos? They're pretty much um the same logos as those for Buzzsprout. Pretty much very similar. Except you don't see, what is it, tune in, and then this other logo that is like in between Spotify and Google. You don't see that logo. You don't see tune in, and you don't see the one that's next to tune in opposite of iHeart. So it is slightly different, but it's similar platforms that you can distribute to. Also, the pricing. Let me see if I can get to the hold on here. Oh no, I'm not trying to log out. I'm trying to get to there we go, the plans and pricing. Yeah, let's talk about these plans and pricings. And then we're going to wrap it up and get on up out of here because I definitely want to keep this under an hour. But this is just to help people. So this is professional. So I am on the broadcaster. No, I'm not on the anchor man. Excuse me. I'm on the broadcaster. So the on-air talent. You don't get the 500 hours with that one. It's different hours. But here on the broadcaster, or what is it? Yeah, $20 a month, billed monthly. There you go. And you get the 500 hours of storage. And here you go. Distribute and monetize. And again, distribute and monetize your podcast on all these most popular platforms. So we see Apple, Spotify, Google. I don't know what the fourth logo is. Stitcher, Castbox, iHeartRadio, Sonos, Deezer, Radioline, TuneIn. And then the last two, I do believe, is Podcast Addict and then Podchaser, or vice versa. And then here you get into the FAQs, frequently asked questions. And there we go. And that's pretty much it. Thank you all for hanging in there. I know this was a little, I know this was a little long. Trying to keep it, trying to keep it under an hour. But thank you for hanging in there. This was just something that I wanted to put together for those who, again, are just doing their thing, doing their podcast. And if they're looking to start distributing their podcasts, branching out and getting on multiple platforms. There is another one, but that will be a separate broadcast / podcast. Thank you though. Thank for everyone who stopped by, who listened, who is watching, listening, and who may watch and listen in the future. I hope you are having a successful Saturday. I love you as a sister. The Most High be with you to lead, guide, and protect your footsteps. And with that being said, I'm gone.